Hi, and welcome back. This first element is absolutely critical to not only your financial success, but your overall success in life as well. And I am super excited to be with you on this journey. Just remember, the situation you're in and all the struggles you're dealing with, none of it is your fault. And I really want you to remember that. It is really important for this journey to succeed in this journey that you realize this isn't your fault. No matter how bad things are for you right now, you are not alone. Look, 8 out of 10 people worldwide are living paycheck to paycheck right now. Nearly 2/3 of people say they are unable to handle a $500 emergency expense. 60% of people will outlive their retirement savings, and 56% have less than $10,000 in total savings. Let those numbers sink in. That's why this is far different than anything else available to transform your financial life. It's a complete paradigm shift in financial transformation. The traditional methods of delivering financial advice simply do not work. Trust me, I lived it for 20 years. And it's the same reason New Year's resolutions don't work either. I've seen it firsthand for years in working with thousands of individuals of all income ranges and wealth. Telling somebody what to do and what not to do with their money doesn't affect meaningful and lasting change, and therefore it does not and cannot work. All the studies and statistics prove it. In order to affect meaningful and lasting change in people, you must tap into the core of your mental programming at your subconscious. That's it. That's the only way. It's the only way you're going to change your behaviors and change your financial life forever. And that's what this is all about. That's what ThrivePath is about. We're going to change the operating system of your thinking. And this first element is where your problems lie. This is the foundation of all the challenges you're dealing with. And we're going to change that right now. But in order to change, we have to go beyond the basic how-to programs and stop confusing ineffective activity with accomplishment. And I love this cartoon because I think it speaks volumes for what I'm trying to convey to you. We have met the enemy, and he is us. It's a classic. Is it possible that Pogo was correct and that the enemy is within our minds? I believe it is. I mean, we could continue to accumulate more and more information forever and still not enact real change. Instead, we have to focus on a process that actually produces personal transformation. Only then will you truly thrive financially. There's a powerful story I want to share with you that I think really exemplifies this first element in ThrivePath. Do you think I could restrain this massive beast with this thin rope? Well, there was once a couple who traveled to Africa. They were walking and they passed 3 full-grown elephants who were not wandering off. They were tethered by a small rope tied to their front leg, just like this one I have in my hand. These powerful animals, these amazing beasts, could easily snap the rope, but they didn't. They wouldn't, and they couldn't. And this couple was perplexed, and they asked the local trainer why. Well, he said, well, when they were younger, we used the same size rope, and it's strong enough to hold them at that time. But when they grow up, they just assume, and they believe they can't break free. They have basically convinced themselves they can't escape based on prior beliefs. How many of us are just like that? We hold on to these broken beliefs that we can't or won't let go of. We make judgments and we make decisions based on information we believe and don't realize it has been wrong or misguided all this time. This is about your beliefs, your harmful belief system around money. It's actually about your broken belief system that has been the key source of why you're in the situation you're in and why you're dealing with so much pain, stress, and anxiety around money. And just like that elephant, you're trapped. But guess what? This trap isn't a rope like this one. It's a bit tougher, and it causes a lot more pain. It's actually more like what I refer to as a bear trap. And the bear trap is an apt metaphor for the situation so many people find themselves in, perhaps the same situation you're in. Whether they're going along seemingly fine with everything in order, or they were struggling day to day to keep their heads above water. BEAR is an acronym that really gets to the core of why so many people, rich and poor, make decisions that lead to personal and financial destruction. BEAR is an acronym I developed several years ago that means beliefs, excuses, actions, and results. Your harmful beliefs about money turn into damaging excuses, which then leads to destructive actions, which in turn end in painful results. And this ripple effect you endure every single day is in essence your destiny. When we're unhappy with the results of something, it isn't enough to understand what actions we should have taken. For lasting change, we need to understand why we started down that destructive path in the first place, or why we took that left turn when we should have kept going straight. By simply focusing on the what versus the why, we are far, far more likely to repeat these mistakes over and over and over again. And so much, if not all, of your financial struggle is tied to your mental programming. All starts with your destructive and limiting belief system around money. And too often we try external solutions when in fact the problem is internal. And here's the great news. The great news is that there's nothing physically wrong with you at all, and that your problems may be a lot easier to fix than you've been led to believe. So let's start with the root of the bear trap, and that's beliefs. There is simply nothing more powerful in your life than your belief system. And as I've always said, you've probably heard me say this before, change your beliefs and you'll change your life forever. As I mentioned back in part 1, our beliefs are the root of every choice we make in life. And unhealthy roots rot the tree. And healthy roots help them grow, strengthen, and be fruitful. So we must get healthy beliefs built upon within us. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing in this first element of Thrive Path, helping you uncover those limiting and destructive beliefs that are causing you so much pain and anxiety in your life. And once you can identify and become aware of those harmful beliefs, together we can then begin to reshape them to give your life the health, the wealth, and the prosperity you deserve to have. Our subconscious mind controls nearly everything we do. In fact, research suggests that 95% of our decisions come from our subconscious. That means almost every aspect of who we are in the world lies in the subconscious, or actually the term I prefer, which is our unconscious. And why do I say unconscious? Well, it's because we're not aware of them. Remember, I said these processes are running on autopilot. Remember that? Our subconscious essentially determines what we do, what we say, what we think, how we behave, and ultimately who we become, whether we realize it or not. So if 95% of our life is running on our unconscious without our awareness, in other words, we have no idea of the programs that are running completely on autopilot, dictating everything, what we think, what we believe, and ultimately who you become. That means we're only aware of 5% of our conscious activity. We've got 95% versus a 5%. That's a powerful force. And what are these programs that are running in the background, controlling 95% of your life? Well, these programs, yes, you guessed it, are made up of your beliefs. And research tells us most people have harmful beliefs that are in conflict with their wishes and their desires. They're self-sabotaging themselves. These beliefs that are forcing people to live on what I call Pain Island. And so many of you are living on Pain Island because of this. And this ongoing, prolonged state of financial pain is leading to ongoing and prolonged stress, and it's literally killing people. Look, your brain processes over 40 million nerve impulses every second. 40 million. It's the most powerful processor in the world, and it exists within each of us. These nerve impulses play the same tape over and over and over again, just like a broken record. Dr. Bruce Lipton, he's an internationally recognized leader in bridging science and personal success, an amazing guy. He says, so by definition, your life is a printout of your unconscious programming. He goes on, what is troubling is that you play these programs 95% of the time and you don't see them. So that means at least 95% of the time you are sabotaging yourself and you don't even see it. Therefore, you never understood why things in your life were not working. Our earliest experiences in life ultimately shaped who we've become. They are based on what we have observed, what we've heard, and what we've seen around us. And our subconscious constantly runs these events over and over, encoding them into the fabric of our being. And sadly, as Dr. Bruce Lipton says, research tells us it's revealed that nearly 3/4 of those programs are negative and disempowering. As we grow, we become educated, and we begin experiencing the world, gaining more and more independence. Our beliefs may shift and adjust, but by the time we're in our late 20s, our beliefs have become hardwired. And as I've always said, our beliefs are the framework for how we think and how we act, and ultimately who we become. But our beliefs aren't reality. They're essentially lies we are telling ourselves every single day. And it's these lies we tell ourselves that closely determine our actions. But the problem is we rarely test them, and we rarely, if ever, challenge them. Even in the case when we receive new information and circumstances change, ingrained beliefs can be incredibly stubborn to change. We cling on to them. And even when you're confronted with a new reality or truth, they can be incredibly tough to break. It's in those moments where your beliefs can close you off to new information, new opportunities, important facts, and keep you from moving forward toward the life you wanted all along and deserve. Some people become so rooted in their beliefs, even though there may not even be any actual evidence to support them, that they refuse to listen to facts that counter them. But guess what? You are just a small step away from breaking that pattern and establishing a new, revitalizing belief system. But first, we need to explore your harmful beliefs that are holding you back. My friend, Gary Van Warmerdam, a thought leader in the science of cognitive transformation and founder of Pathway to Happiness. He provides a perfect analogy to describe how our old beliefs are sabotaging us. He says, think about it like this. Our bodies are like big computers, and beliefs are like the software operating system of that computer. Many of the beliefs you have are the equivalent of viruses actually causing harmful, self-destructive behaviors. The reason things aren't working out for you right now is because you have a set of false beliefs. It's those false beliefs that are dictating and sabotaging your behavior. Those beliefs are the software wired through your neural pathways of your brain. Your operating system, in other words, your software, is not running properly and is likely out of date. What you learn to believe about yourself and money at age 5, 10, and 15 is still running in the background today. There's nothing wrong with you physically. We simply need to run an antivirus program to get those neural structures firing in a different and more effective manner. The way the world and yourself appear to you, in other words, what is on your computer monitor, is a direct result of these beliefs. And to change that appearance, you cannot simply take white out and cover those flaws on the screen. You need to address the operating system and its software. And just like with a computer virus, if you don't do anything about it, it destroys the code and eventually your system crashes. You reach a point of defection, failure, and frustration. How does that sound? Sound familiar? I know it does. But let me remind you, you were here to change all of that, and that's what we're going to do. I've got the antivirus program, and together we're going to run it and get rid of those viruses once and for all. Now, let me ask you, is it possible that you have a virus that's preventing you from having a good relationship with money? What are your thoughts as you ponder the sources of your current financial situation you're in now? What might some of these viruses look like? Well, perhaps maybe it's a frustration about the state of your progress. Maybe it's procrastination, fear of failing. Maybe it's judgment, envy, or resentment of other successes. Perhaps it's the need for stuff you must have, but know you can't afford. Perhaps it's criticism of others' failures, self-criticism over the decisions that you've made, feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, or low self-worth associated with money or lack of money. Thoughts of how great your life would be if you had more money. Maybe it's the need for an image in order to impress others. Maybe it's excessive excitement over high-risk investment opportunities, or on the other hand, fear of investment opportunities and the fear of missing out on the next boom opportunity. I will say, beliefs are often used as a justification to avoid what you need to do, what you know you need to do. Essentially, beliefs are used as an excuse for why you are who you are. In a way, beliefs give you an out, an excuse. I want you to review the list of some of the most common beliefs I've experienced with clients and people I've met, and even myself I've had. And you may very well find some of these excuses all too familiar to yourself, and that's okay. That's what we're here to do. And they may hit close to home, and that again is totally okay. This foundational element is about recognizing what's holding you back from true, lasting financial freedom and peace of mind. Some of the common beliefs, and this is only a brief list, mind you. Here's some. I'll never be wealthy. I'll never be good with money. I'm just not good with numbers. I didn't come from money. And I love this one. You only live once. How many times have we used that as an excuse to do things we shouldn't be doing? Money is the root of all evil, right? We've heard that one. There's more to life than money. With 2 jobs and a family, I just don't have time to take care of my finances. I hear that so often. I just don't have time. Someone else will take care of this for me. The rich are greedy. Well, what's spending just a little bit more money going to hurt? I don't like to take risks. You heard that one? I have to buy this new fill in the blank. It's only $100 per month on my credit card. I can worry about the future later. It's absolutely vital I send my kids to college. It's just too overwhelming. I'll never get my financial life in order. I need to make more money to be happy. And I'm not financially smart enough. It's too complicated. I'm too old to change my habits. Well, it's only money. It's too hard. The system is rigged. Oh, and I just heard this one the other day. I don't need financial education. I have a financial advisor who takes care of that stuff. I mean, how scary is that? I hear that, I panic. All that is just nonsense. In fact, it's scary. These aren't just faulty opinions you're carrying with you. These are flat out lies you are telling yourself, and they are destroying you financially. All right, then, time to move on to the next activity. And this one is absolutely critical. So I want you to take out that Bear Trap download worksheet you started on in the previous parts. First, I want you to go back to your list of beliefs you have around money. In the previous exercise, I wanted you to come up with beliefs on your own without a cheat sheet, without that list that I just provided you of common beliefs. And now that you've seen some examples, perhaps some new ones reared their ugly heads, and you've identified some new ones that might be holding you back in your financial life. So go ahead and add any new ones to the Bear Trap worksheet right now. Write every single one down, no matter how big or small they are in that first column. And again, like last time, go ahead and answer those following 2 questions for your new beliefs. Who, when, where did they come from? And number 2, are they 100% true? Now, I want you to go ahead and fill in those next 2 columns for each belief you have written down. The first one is, what excuses did you make in your life as a result of that belief you've been carrying? For example, you may have a belief that the markets are too risky. What did that belief do to you? What was the excuse that belief led to? Did it keep you from investing, hence missing out on this tremendous stock market we've seen over the years? Or the big one that I mentioned earlier that I hear so often, I don't have time. What did that excuse, or what excuse did that belief lead to? Then lastly, I want you to move on to the next column and ask yourself, what actions did you take as a result? You may say your action was, well, you didn't take any action, and that led to a problem. You've missed out on tremendous opportunities somewhere. And what I've found is that it's very important to get specific and descriptive here. Take your time doing this. The more you can identify those beliefs and really study their source and the impact, the quicker and more effectively you'll be able to change them. This exercise, I cannot stress this enough, is extremely important to your future transformation. All right, when you're done, we'll see after that in part 3. You are doing absolutely amazing. Take care, upward and onward. We'll see you soon. Take care.